ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यामनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे मुकुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Wonderful. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. So we are on chapter 9 and we are covering the aspect about dancing before the deity. So we are reading in Dwarka Mahatmaya, the importance of dancing before the deity is stated by Lord Krishna as follows. A person who is in jubilant spirit, who feels profound devotional ecstasy while dancing before me, and who manifests different features of bodily expression can burn away all the accumulated sinful reaction he has stocked up for many, many thousands of years. Wow, this is superb actually. It is a very wonderful example quoted from scripture that a person who become enthusiastic and perform dance in front of the Lord, not just wildly, but it is just basically for the pleasure of the Lord, not to show off other people, one can actually burn away accumulated sins for many, many thousands of years. This is such a sublime part of devotional service. Anything, even such a simple aspect you do in devotional service, that can award you much more higher than you can think about. What even it is said, when you actually clap during the kirtan or clap when some singing is going on, that actually changes your the hand pattern and astrological chart just based on that. How magnanimous is Lord. If we participate in the devotional service, what is the outcome? I just shared, I don't know if I shared it, but I want to narrate this. I don't know what scripture is that, but I want to share this beautiful pastime. So there was actually a thief, a a kind of a murderer, and he fell in love with a girl. And then he told the girl, we will meet at so and so spot at so and so time. And lovers always want to find out a silo place so that nobody disturbs them. So he found out a spot in a forest. He was waiting for the girlfriend, but somehow she didn't come. So he was waiting, holding a flower, and where he was standing, there was Lord Vishnu's temple nearby. He said, anyhow, I'm here. It is dark. I have a flower. Rather than throwing up, let me offer to Lord Vishnu. And he offered that flower to Lord Vishnu. Based on his timeline, the death came at that time. And when the death came at that time, this person was, the soul was taken out of this body, and then the soul was presented in front of Yamaraj. So when they opened the accounts, what did they see? In that account, everything was a mess. This guy's chart was filled with sinful activities. But very interestingly, he offered the flower to Lord Vishnu. So now for that, he had an option of staying one day in heaven. So the Yamaraj or death personified, they ask him, so based on your account, you can live for hundreds of years in hell and you can get to go to heavens for one day. You choose which one you want to go for. What do you think he chose? What do you think he chose?
So
He
one day,
chose hell.
uh, heaven or Prabhuji?
One day in heaven because he offered the flower to Lord Vishnu,
Okay.
but because his account is filled with all these sinful activities, then he can live in hell for 100 years. So now Yamraj is asking him, where do you want to go first? Momita Matari said he wants to go to hell first. What do you think, Naresh Prabhu?
I think he'll go to heaven.
Correct. So he's decided, anyhow, I have to suffer for 100 lifetimes. Let me go to heavens first.
Mm.
So he went to heavens. When he went to heavens, he entered into Kadamakanan garden. He saw there were flowers there. Very beautiful personalities were there. He took a sword from one of the person there and started cutting flowers and offering Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Madhavaya Nama, Om Narayana Nama, Om Govindaya Nama. Because he started thinking, if I offered one flower and I got to stay one day in heavens, if I offer many flowers, I can stay for that period of time in heavens. So the day got over. He came in front of Yamaraj. Yamaraj said, there is a twist in the story now. Because you offered so many flowers in heavenly planet, so the hell does not exist for you. Because while doing the offering on the flower, you also chanted the name of Lord Vishnu. So what was his intention? Girlfriend anyhow did not come. Anyhow, how to throw the flower. He gave that flower there. So even for a person who has such a ill mindset, but he wants to offer to Vishnu what Lord awards. So when someone comes in front of the Lord and he actually dances or she dances, they can actually burn away the accumulated sinful reaction they have accrued for many thousands of years. In the same book, there is a statement by Narada wherein he asserts, from the body of any person who claps and dances before the deity, showing manifestation of ecstasy, all the birds of sinful activities fly away upward. I was just mentioning about clapping. Just as by clapping the hands one can cause many birds to fly away, similarly, the birds of all sinful activities which are sitting on the body can be made to fly away simply by dancing and clapping before the deity of Krishna. That's why you see any temple, what I'm not even saying Lord Vishnu's temple, any temple you go, what is one thing in common? There is some arti and people clap in that arti. A very beautiful scientific reason behind what we do. Any questions before we go to next section? Okay.
Prabhu, there is some devotees I've been seeing like, but we don't know. Again, I'm not judging. But there is a lot of other comments. They say, "Oh, this is fake," and this is this, and people have. If people really fake, or if people don't have bhakti inside, but they're still showing off,
Oh, very good. Very good.
is it valid?
I'll tell you answer that. Muslims have a ill name. They call it as haram.
Mhm.
हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं गाली देना हो तो they use that term to say someone haram because there is a ram behind her. Even if they are giving the gali, they get the pious activity of chanting the name of Lord Ram.
So that means what if they're even if they're
Even
doing
if
so
they're
much
doing
sinful activity, they're killing people, they're still getting somehow out.
I'm not saying they are getting out, and that's a part I wanted to be very clear on that. I am saying they are getting the idea of chanting the name of Lord Ram.
Mm.
One time,
But they
in,
don't realize that though.
they don't realize, but they still get the benefit out of it.
Mm.
So one businessman is there in Pune. There is a chain of um, non-veg called Wankies. Have you heard about that?
I'm not from Pune, but I think I heard that before.
Yeah, that is not just in Pune. It's now all over India. So that guy actually sells all non-vegetarian stuff. They provide it, and then the restaurants take it, and then they cook the non-veg and all that stuff. So he thought, let me. They were building a new temple in Pune, and when you build the temple, you definitely need a lot of funds. So they were going everywhere asking for donation to the temple. So this guy came forward. He said, I'll sponsor the whole temple. You don't have to go to anyone. I'll sponsor the whole temple. I'll give you the money. The temple president did not take his money.
Mm.
Because what is his intention behind? I know every sinful person, or most of the sinful person, at back of their mind, they know they are doing wrong. However, they can't actually get away with that, so they want to somehow counteract that by doing any of such activities like building temple, assisting in this, or building dharamshalas, or giving waters and all that, giving water or creating the places for serving water. Though their intention is not good, Lord still gives them some benediction that at least that intention is there, that I want to serve. So for such people who actually try to mimic or just showcase that, they still get the punya. I'm not saying get out of the cycle of birth
Mm.
and death.
Okay, Prabhu.
So that's an important part. Any other comments? Okay. Bowing down in honor of the deity. In Naradiya Purana, there is a statement about bowing down and offering respect to the deity. It is said there, a person who has performed a great ritualistic sacrifice and a person who has simply offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord cannot be held as equals. Sorry, give me. A person who has performed a great ritualistic sacrifice and a person who has simply offered his respectful obeisances in front cannot be equal. What does it mean? The person who has executed many great sacrifices will attain the result of pious activities, but when such results are finished, he has to take birth again on the earthly planet, which we know. However, the person who has offered respect, bowing down before the deity, will not come back to this world because he or she will go directly back to the abode of Krishna. This is, these are not random statements. Like people say, or this is mentioned in scripture, if you take a bath in Ganga, all your sins are destroyed. So one may say, after taking a bath, why do some people still suffer? And there are multiple aspects to that one. First and foremost thing, I need to have a faith when I take a bath in Ganga that Ganga is going to eradicate all my sins. If I don't have a faith, it will not work. There was there was a guru, and he had a disciple. The disciple wanted had some seva, so he had to cross the river, but there was no boats there. So he came to Guru, says, please, I want to cross. How do I do that? He says he gave him a mantra. He said, you chant the mantra and cross the river. He had a faith. He chanted that mantra, and guess what? He crossed the river, walking over the river. He reached on the other side of the river. Now the guru got puzzled. He- I gave him the mantra. This guy crossed. Does this mantra really work? And he started chanting the mantra. He came in the middle of the river and he was doubtful. He was immediately drowned. So who gave the mantra? The Guru gave the mantra. A disciple cross over. Why did Guru could not cross? What do you think is the answer?
There is no faith
There
in
is no
Guru's
faith.
mantra. Although
Guru
he was the
himself gave the
teacher.
mantra.
Yeah,
Correct. But
but
he didn't have the faith.
yeah,
But disciple had the faith. That's why he was able to cross over.
yes, bro.
So every spiritual activity, every part of devotional service when we perform, we need to have a faith. If we don't have a faith, that will not work for us.
Hmm.
Reality is that even if you see, if you watch on internet, what is the biggest medicine for doctor to give you? Sometimes you think that it is a pills he is giving. Doctor is giving you a faith. If you have a faith that this medicine will work, it will work for you. But even the best doctor gives you a best medicine, and if you think it will not work, it will not work for you.
Hmm.
Even in mundane affairs, there is a faith. Why not on transcendental devotional service platform have a faith that yes, these things work? I was just thinking about it. When you are on the expressway or when you are on the freeway or highway, whatever we call it as, there is a speed limit of 70 and there are 5 lanes. You are driving in, say, second lane, and there are cars in every lane. You have a faith that not the fifth row wala guy, the guy who's driving in fifth lane, all of a sudden will come in second row. You have a
It
faith.
does, Prabhu.
Yeah, you have a faith. But this will everyone is going to be in their lane and it is going to work perfectly. You have a faith.
Yes.
Now, here it's not very common, but when you go to India, when you go to barber shop, you're sitting there. They don't use the knife there to cut or shave the back part of this. Or if you go for shaving, which doesn't happen here, but just putting it here, to put thing in context. You have a faith. This guy will not cut my throat.
Yes.
He can,
Yeah.
can. But I have this guy is going to do it perfectly. If we faith on people who sometimes are not supposed to be have faith on, why not have faith on these devotional services aspects? Results is written. If I have a faith, this is going to work for me. Makes sense, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
The person who has executed many great sacrifices will attain the result of pious activities, but when such results are finished, he has to take birth again on the earthly planet. However, the person who has once offered respects, bowing down before the deity, will not come back to this world because he will go directly to the abode of Krishna. Now, standing up to receive the Lord, before to that section, there is one aspect of pujaris when we go and enter into the temple room to either dress the Lord or to offer boga to the Lord. The first activity before you enter the temple room is you clap and very happily say, Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopi Janolo Bhagwan ki Jai, Nitai Pati Tapana Gaurari ki Jai. Even if you are miserable, we do that. Why? Because that happiness which is for the pleasure of the Lord eradicates all the misgivings, all the challenges, all the difficulties we have, and gives that happiness to our heart. So in Brahmanda Purana, it is said a person who sees the Lord's Rath Yatra car festival and then stands up to receive the Lord, doesn't do anything, just even stands there, can purge all kind of results from his body. So Jagannath Ji comes every year for people who have no faith even to come to the temple, to give them an opportunity, even if they just stood there, their sinful results are gone from their body. What an amazing thing. On the similar plane, following the deity, A similar statement is there in Bhavishya Purana, in which it is said, even if born of a lowly family, a person who follows the Rath Yatra car, when the deities pass in front from behind, will surely be elevated to the position of achieving equal opulence with Vishnu. Sin to chodo, you will get the same equal opulence as Lord Vishnu.
Prabhu, just about this paragraph,
Hmm.
you said if you go to Jagannath Dham, Jagannath Puri, and if you
Hmm.
stand there, all sinful reaction will be
Yes. If you
uplifted.
have faith, yes.
Yeah, if you have faith. Now, there is a person I know. She does go to all. She's old person. She
Hmm.
does go to all the holy places and stuff like
Nice.
that. It's been
Hmm.
years, Prabhu.
Hmm.
It's been years that she does not change herself. So I'm thinking in my head like I'm not into this bhakti world for that
Hmm.
long.
Hmm.
And so all this time she even cries when sometimes when she get emotional with the gods and all. I've been seeing her houses when I was little, that she used to have Makali puja,
Hmm.
kirtan
Hmm.
for Vaishnavas, for
Hmm.
all that possible, like like all the good stuff.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
now even she's old, really old, but it's still she has so much karwapan, like that,
Yeah.
so like towards people, towards something like doesn't her soul elevated. I'm like, if you see the like
Hmm.
the devotee, whatever you the god had that you see, or
Hmm.
isn't it supposed to be um how do I say, like a
Understood. It should bring the sweetness in the life, at least how to.
right?
Yes.
Why he doesn't?
Yes. Do you remember the story I shared last week about a Brahmana and a prostitute?
Yes,
Why did so? Yamraji came to the door of Brahmana.
yes, yes.
Vishnu Dutas went into the door of went at the entrance door of that Vaishya prostitute. Why?
Because at least all dikhawa, like you cannot show off, you have to really believe in it.
You have to have a faith.
You have to have a faith. But
Madhvi,
sometimes like sometimes it's like, okay, the Krishna is the god of, for like the merciful god that which we know so far. And like all this misery that she has her life, isn't it should be like taken away then? She go to all the possible tirthas.
Mataji, our understanding about misery, our understanding of sin is very different than what actually is the reality is. When we think about not having sin all the punya, we think about all bodily comforts. We think about I will have money, I will never have a money problem, I will never have this problem. But actually the reality is that these are the biggest obstacles for us to not practice bhakti. If your financial situation is really well, no, you will never go to Krishna. If your health situation is good, no, you will never go to Krishna. If your relationships are good, you will never go to Krishna. Because the tendency we have is when everything is going good in our life, the last thing we can think about is God. But when the things are not going well, the first thing you can think about is God. So what is the curse? What is the blessing here? The blessing here is that I can remember Krishna. But there are certain souls who, even whether they are in happiness or whether they are in distress, they are always remembering Krishna. So, why am I bringing this point? The point which I'm trying to bring in is that whatever that person is doing, whether they have a faith or do not have a faith, because faith is very subtle. You cannot see faith externally. For an example, a healthy person you can see from outside. A blind person you can understand he is blind because it is gross. But faith is subtle in the heart. You cannot see someone's faith.
Yeah, but you can feel it, right? When
Not
the
really.
ghost
Not
person
really.
talks.
Not really. This Brahmana, if you see, and then the Vaishya see, the activities are completely opposite.
Yeah.
But what is going within, only God knows.
Yeah.
And that's a secret. Nobody knows who is at what platform.
True.
So this is very important. Even if that person is going there, but there is a person who is yearning to Puri, never went to Jagannath Puri and always remembering Jagannath, he will get a better benefit than the person who is going there. Because it is about that heart feeling has to come. Tears, you go and watch certain Bollywood movies, your tears also come in watching movie.
Yes,
They
Prabhu.
make money out of you and they smoke cigarette behind the scene.
Mhm.
And in front of you they come as Lord Ram or Mother Sita. And you cry, Are, what is happening? There is actually a real story. You know that Ramayan Saga's Ramayan.
Yes.
So this is a real story that one devotee actually said to his one person said to his wife, "You make the shira today. We will offer to Lord Ram and Mother Sita. When Ramanand Sagar's time comes, you put it in front of the TV." That is their faith. That they are not different from Ram and Sita. One time, that Sita who played that role, she went to a village and she was smoking a cigarette. One villager came and gave her a big slap. "Hey, you are a Sita, no? Why are you doing like that? Even as a person." So the point why am I bringing this is tears is not the symptom that a person is very highly spiritual.
Mm.
Because those tears can also come when I watch a movie. But it is all about the transformation of the heart. A person may be chanting just one round, but calling out Krishna's name with love and separation, that guy has higher chances of going back to God than on the name of showing off. I chant 16 rounds, 32 rounds, or 64. But there is no transformation of heart which is happening.
Mm.
So it's all about coming down to power of intentions, and that decides what is the outcome. So these examples, when you have right intention, but even if you have a wrong intention here, you still get the credit. I'm not saying you will not get the credit,
Mhm.
but when the intention is correct, you will get the exact result which is mentioned here.
Right.
Makes sense, Manaji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now the next one is actually coming on your point. Going to the temple of Vishnu or places of pilgrimage. It is stated in Puranas, persons who attempt to visit the holy places of pilgrimage like Vrindavan, Mathura, or Dwarka, or Jagannath Puri are actually glorified. By such traveling activities, they can pass over the desert of material existence. In Hari Bhakti Subodhya, there is a statement about the benefit of visiting the temple of Lord Krishna. As we have explained previously in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka, or Jagannath Puri, the system is that all the devotees take advantage of visiting various temples situated in those holy places. It is stated in Hari Bhakti Subodhya, persons who are impelled by pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness and who therefore go to see the deities of Vishnu in the temple will surely get the relief from entering again into the prison house of mother's womb. What is mentioned here? What is mentioned here? Pure devotional service. The conditioned soul forgets the trouble of living within the mother's womb during birth, but it is very painful and terrible experience. In order to make an escape from the material condition, one second, Mukunda, Sham Kishore Kuba class at 8 o'clock. Can you join today? Just whatever you can hear, please. Please. In order to make an escape from the material condition, one is advised to visit the temple of Vishnu, with devotional consciousness, then one can very easily get out of miserable condition of material birth. Unless we are, unless we are, what do you call? Unless we have a faith, or unless we understand what is the precarious situations we are in, the death is coming, another birth I have to take and go through that miserable life. We will not give the intensity to bhakti. The intensity only come when we realize I'm in a miserable condition and anything can happen at any time. There is one devotee, his name is Janaki Nath. He was a monk and he was serving in London temple um there. He was 31. One day he had a stomach ache. He went to see the doctor. They did various tests. And after that, they said, we want to talk to you. Okay. He had no issues, no health issues at all before. Never visited the doctor before. The doctor took him to a room. He said, you have a fourth stage cancer, colon cancer. You have very little time left. So, what this person did, he took it as a gift of Krishna. And during last few weeks before he left, he would go and bring those cancer patients to the temple and ask them, let's live a happy life here. And we'll preach them about Krishna. And then he left this world at the age of 32. Sorry, he lived for 4 years. He left at 34 or 35. There is actually a TED talk on that. I'll share that with you. Please listen that. That's a brutal reality of life. Anything can happen at any time. And don't think I have a family, so it won't happen to me. Or I am young, it won't happen to me. I am healthy, it won't happen to me. And as long as we realize that the life is completely unpredictable, then we are able to give our heart, put our heart into whatever we do. Let's move to the next one, circumambulating the temple of Vishnu. Here it is not everywhere, but at least in India, around the temple, you have a place to actually take the parikrama of the temple. Here, because of the shortage of space, sometimes you may not have that ability or luxury to have that. But this beautiful section is very important. It is said in Hari Bhakti Subodhya, a person who is circumambulating the deity of Vishnu can counteract the circumambulation of repeated birth and death in this material world. The conditioned soul is circumambulating. This is about us. We are circumambulating through repeated births and death on account of material existence, and this can be counteracted simply by circumambulating the deity in the temple. The Chaturmasya ceremony, which is of 4 months of austerity, during the 4 months of rainy season in India, which is around July, August, September, October, beginning from Shravan. During these 4 months, saintly persons who are accustomed to travel from one place to another to propagate Krishna consciousness remain at one place, usually a holy place of pilgrimage. During these times, there are certain special rules and regulations that are strictly followed. It is stated in Skanda Purana that during this period, if someone circumambulating the temple of Vishnu at least 4 times, it is understood that he has traveled all over the universe. By such circumambulation, one is understood to have seen all the holy places where Ganga water is flowing, and by following the regulative principles of Chaturmasya, one can very quickly be raised to the platform of devotional service. Any questions here? Very crystal clear, right?
Oh,
Arjun.
so that is they're talking about the parikrama of the temples, is it?
Yes, yes. So this example Rupa Goswami is giving, that for people who actually who are traveling like sannyasis, they generally these 4 months during rainy season do not travel. But then the idea is they want to roam around the holy places. So if they can actually circumambulate the temple, it is as good as traveling the universe 4 times.
But Prabhu, there is some mandir even in India. They're so like everything is stacked together outside, like shops and everything.
Hmm.
So how they will do the parikrama there?
Mataji, I'm not saying we like for an example, Govardhan Parikrama we do. And
Okay.
like our temple, we have 4 ways we can do that parikrama as well. So certain places, if the arrangement is not there, we can understand that aspect. But wherever it is possible, we should do that.
I think there is also, I heard somewhere, if it is not, but like there is no space, you can still do, will be that Tulsi Maharani ka
Yeah.
place.
Yes. Yes.
You can do the
That is blessed.
parikrama around
Yes.
the Tulsi Maharani.
Yes. That is also yes. Very true. That is correct, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay. Archana means worship of the deity in the temple. By executing this, and when I say deity in the temple, if you have a temple in the house and everything is centered around Krishna, that house is a temple. So by executing this process, one confirms himself to be not the body but spiritual soul, spirit soul. In the 10th, 81st chapter, verse 19 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is told how Sudama, intimate friend of Krishna's, while going to the house of Brahmana, murmured to himself, simply by worshipping Krishna, one can easily achieve all the results of heavenly opulence. You can imagine how many names of Krishna we chant in 16 rounds. So we have already crossed those heavenly planets and went up. We just have to continue that. Achieve all the results of heavenly opulence, liberation, supremacy over the planetary system of the universe, and all the opulences of material world, and mystic power of performing the yoga system just by worshipping the Lord. The events leading to Sudama's murmuring this statement are as follows. Sri Krishna had ordered his friend Sudama to go to Brahmana's house and ask for some food. The Brahmanas were performing a great sacrifice, and Sri Krishna told Sudama to plead with them that he and Balram were feeling hungry and needed some food. When Sudama went there, this is different Sudama than the one which we know about. When Sudama went there, the Brahmanas refused to offer anything. But the wise of Brahmanas, upon hearing that Sri Krishna wanted some foodstuff, immediately took many palatable dishes and went to offer them to Sri Krishna. In Vishnu Rahasya also state any person within the world who is engaged in the worship of Vishnu can very easily achieve the ever blissful kingdom of God known as Vankutaloka. A very beautiful pastime which is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. One day Krishna went along with Balramji and all the Gopas to the forest, and after playing they were hungry. So they called Krishna. Krishna, we are hungry, we want food. Krishna said, okay. There are very nearby, there are these Brahmanas who are actually performing the sacrifice. You go and ask them that Krishna and that I am hungry and Balramji are hungry, so please give us the food. So when these Gopas went there to these Brahmanas and they said that we want to, we want the food. This Brahmana said, we are performing a yajna. Please get out from here. This boga is for offering to the Yagya Purusha. And these Gopas were very disappointed, came to Krishna, and they mentioned what happened. Krishna smiled. He said, what you do now, go to the house of wives of these Brahmanas and ask them the same thing. So when they went, the wives, when they got to know Krishna and Balaram are here, they are hungry. They took all their pots, what they cooked, and they went to see Krishna. And Krishna and Gopas, they ate this opulent prasad. So happy. These Brahman Patnis were so happy seeing them happy. And then Krishna said, "You should go home back now." They said, "What is the point of we coming here? We gave our heart to you. Why do you want us to send back to those houses of these Brahmanas who have no faith?" Lord Krishna said, "You go. By coming in your association, they will be transformed." And when they came back, Brahmanas regretted. What did they do? Who is the Yajna Purusha? Vishnu. Who is Vishnu? He is none other than Lord Krishna. And he is coming personally to take their offering, asking for that offering. And this is a problem with mundane religious activities. When we don't put our heart into that, we become like these smartha brahmanas who do not know the purpose behind what we do. So we should contemplate and work on why we do what we do in spiritual life. As long as that philosophy is clear, you will try to put your heart into what you are doing. Again, there is a tendency of becoming mechanical. We should work towards that not being mechanical. And that's the point I wanted to share. Any comments?
No problem.
Okay, we'll read the next section, rendering service to the Lord. It is stated in Vishnu Rahasya, any person who can arrange for the service of Lord in the same way that a king is given service by his attendants is surely elevated to the abode of Krishna after that. Actually, in India, the temples are just like royal palaces. They are not ordinary buildings because the worship of Krishna should be performed in just the way that a king is worshipped in his palace. So in Vrindavan, there are many hundreds of temples wherein the deity is worshipped exactly like a king. In Naradiya Purana, it is stated, if a person stays in Lord's temple even for few moments, he can surely achieve the transcendental kingdom of the Lord. The conclusion is that those who are rich men in the society should construct beautiful temples and arrange for the worship of Vishnu so that people may be attracted to visit such temples and thereby be offered the opportunity of dancing before the Lord or chanting the holy name of the Lord or else of hearing the holy name of the Lord. In this way, everyone will be given the chance to elevate himself to the kingdom of God. In other words, even a common man, simply by visiting such a temple, will be able to attain the highest benediction, not to mention the devotees who are constantly engaged in the service of Lord in full Krishna consciousness. In this connection, there is a statement in 4th canto, 21st chapter, verse 31 of Srimad Bhagavatam, where King Prithu says, "My dear citizens, please note that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is actually the deliverer of all fallen conditioned souls. No demigod can perform this act of delivering the conditioned souls because the demigods themselves are conditioned, because they are attached to their opulence. They practice mixed devotional service, at least some of them, or some time. A conditioned soul cannot deliver another conditioned soul. Only Krishna or his bona fide representative can deliver him. The Ganges water, which is flowing the toe of Lord Vishnu, falls upon the earthly planet and other planets and thereby delivers all conditioned sinful living entities. So, what need is there to speak of deliverance of persons who are always engaged in the service of the Lord? Not that you have to become a full time devotee to serve. You can remember Krishna in each and every activity you perform, and that makes it spiritual. There is no doubt about their liberation, even if they have stocks of sinful activities from many, many births. In other words, a person who is engaged in the worship of deities can minimize his stock of sinful reaction coming from many, many previous births. And that is the reason we should actually perform arati ceremony or various activity in our house, which is not different from temple. This process of worshipping the deity has already been described, and one should try to follow these rules and regulations seriously. So I think it is 8:19. Maybe let me cover singing. It's very small. Any comments on the previous section?
No
All
problem.
clear?
I'm okay.
Beautiful. In the Linga Purana, there is a statement about glorifying and singing about the Lord. It is said there a Brahmana who is constantly engaged in singing the glories of the Lord is surely elevated to the same planet as Supreme Personality of Godhead, because Lord Krishna's name, form, and activities are non different. Lord Krishna appreciates this singing even more than a prayers offered by Lord Shiva. So I want to end with this beautiful story. Bhima thought everyone serves Krishna, but I don't get to serve Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. And he started thinking what to do for Krishna. He thought, I want to sing for Krishna. And you know how Bhima was very powerful. So he approached a singer. Can you teach me singing? Now the singer started singing and Bhima started following. Everyone put their hand on their ears. But this Brahmana who is teaching him singing, he cannot tell this to Bhima, otherwise he'll beat him. So he started still teaching him. Everyone was fed up. Even people in Yudhishthira Maharaj's kingdom, they were just harassed with Bhima singing. So Draupadi approached him once. He says, my dear Bhima, you sing so melodiously. But you know what? There is so much disturbance in this palace. The singing should be practiced in a silo place so that you can focus, and then um, it should be focused. So Bhima thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So he found a mountain, went with the teacher, and teacher started teaching him singing, and Bhima started singing. And there is a person who herds the sheep. He came there. Sorry, who brings his donkeys to that forest, to that this. He came there, and when he saw enthusiastic, he saw Bhima, and even he was about to leave, he said, "Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry." So Bhima said, "What happened? Can you tell me?" He said, "Sir, if I tell you the truth, you will beat me." Bhima said, "No, I promise I will not beat you." So he said, "Actually, one of my donkey was missing." So when I heard this voice, I thought it's my donkey.
Hey, Krishna.
That's why I came in search of him. But I thought if I tell you, you will beat me. So I realized this is not a donkey, but this is you are singing. Now Bhima realized, oh man, what did I do? And that's where he realized actually Draupadi. That's why he sent him there. Now he was very morose. He came back, and Yudhishthira Maharaj saw him, and he mentioned that this is what is happening and whatever it is. So Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I've been eagerly waiting to see Lord Krishna. Can you go and pass on this message to Krishna and Dwarka that I'm eagerly waiting? Now Bhima likes to eat. He was anyhow on the mountain, he didn't get much, so he came back. He said, okay, let me eat. So he ate nicely. And after eating, what happens? You feel asleep.
Fall
So
asleep.
yeah, so he slept and forgot what Yudhishthira Maharaj said. So next day, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, my dear Bhima, did you inform Lord Krishna? He said, ah. So Yudhishthira Maharaj became angry and gave him chastisement. Bhima was anyhow sad, and now again chastisement. So he went into his room and locked. And he started crying that when other people sing, or when Draupadi just calls Krishna, Krishna comes. But I can't even sing for Krishna, and I can never please Krishna. So he started crying, thinking about Krishna. Within few minutes, the soldiers came and knocked the door of Bhima. He said, Yudhishthira Maharaj is calling you. So he went there. To his surprise, Lord Krishna was cracking jokes with Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj called Bhima, thank you. You went and called Krishna. So Bhima was puzzled. I didn't go. He says, Krishna told me that you called him. Bhima said, I never went to Dwarka. Krishna said, I did not mean actually that he called. He came there to personally call me. But when he cried, though he was learning singing, that did not give me pleasure. But when he was calling me, crying with love, I got attracted and came there. Why did I share this story? It's about singing. Another story before we end. There was a Brahmana in South India. He was an illiterate. His he was reading Bhagavad Gita upside down, and other Brahmanas were making fun of him. Lord Chaitanya happened to come to this temple, and he saw this Brahmana. The tears were flowing from his eyes, and because it is Lord Chaitanya, he knows what tears are they, not the movie tears. Lord Chaitanya said, My dear Brahmana, what are you doing? He said, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita because my guru told me every day I should read Bhagavad Gita from first to the last page. So he said, Why are you reading upside down? He said, I'm an illiterate, sorry, but I'm trying to follow my spiritual master's instruction. Then Lord Chaitanya said, Then why there are tears in your eyes? If you can't read, how are you understanding? And if you understand, then only the tears would come. He says, when I see Krishna, who is a supreme personality of Godhead, becoming a chariot driver of Arjuna, and Arjuna, to show him indication to go right or left, he kicks through his feet on the right shoulder or left shoulder of Krishna. Thinking about that Bhakta Vatsala's nature of Krishna, my heart melts and the tears flow from my eyes. Lord Chaitanya said, My dear Brahmana, you have truly understand Bhagavad Gita versus these Brahmanas who think that they know Bhagavad Gita slokas, they know all meanings of Bhagavad Gita. Everything, today's main point, if I have to give one word answer, what did we cover today? What is a takeaway for us to for today's discussion is intentions. One should have pure intention. We may realize we may not be perfect, but Krishna doesn't want perfection. Krishna wants perfect intention, not perfection. And that is what I wanted to share today. Any comments or reflections before we end? All good?
Yes, Prabhu, you're all good.
Can you quickly summarize what all we took? What, we may not remember everything, but what all things we discussed? Some examples which you really like.
I like when you said once we go to temple first, keep your hands up and be very happy to see Krishna, and chant or just call lots of Krishna's name as possible.
Mm,
And whenever the arti happens, you can dance and sing, clap.
that's not it. Correct.
So at least we can be in that positive moment, caught on the positive moment to also can create um,
Joy
like
and
other devotees to clap too, because it happens to me whenever I'm a very like a shy way person
mm,
once I go to temples or so many people.
mm.
But when other people are chanting, other people are clapping or singing, it's kind of contagious.
Yeah, exactly. Because you feel others are clapping and it comes in a rhythm, you also start clapping.
Yeah. Although sometimes at for very first, you feel like is someone watching me, but that goes away after a certain time.
Yeah, very nice. Yes, absolutely. Naresh Prabhu, you want to add something what we studied?
Yes, Prabhuji. The first initial love story you mentioned, right, Prabhuji, the thief and the lover.
Yeah.
That was good, Prabhuji. I mean, when he had the option, right, to went to, I mean, to go to Swargaloka and or
Yeah.
Narakaloka for 100, he chose Swargaloka. He would have enjoyed there, like, at least for one day, but instead he realized just for one flower he was able to escape for one day. Then why can't we? So he realized that only Lord Krishna can save him. Nobody
Very,
can save. So
very beautiful.
it's
Very,
it's it's similar to Azamil story, Prabhuji, kind of one. No?
yes,
He
100.
said he also thinks the same way, right? For
Yes.
one name, the god, I mean, God's soldiers were fighting with
Exactly.
Yamadutas, right? So it was,
Exactly. Very nice. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. Stories are easy to remember for sure. Agree. We talked about doing circumambulation of the temple.
yeah,
We also talked about singing for the Lord. We also talked about doing the archana, which is worship of the Lord. And then we also talked about parikrama when we talked about the 4 months we follow, and then you can do the parikrama of the temple is equivalent to visiting the whole universe. We covered that aspect also. So,
Prabhu, I have seen when they go to Brindavan or Mathura, they like bhaktas, they carry the little cushion or something, and they on the street they
that
dandavat
is always
pranam.
done for parikrama, yes.
So what is that like? How long they do that for? Like,
Mataji, for some people it is 15 days, depending on how what are you covering. For some of them, it could be couple of months. And I remember I
but
went
for
to Goa,
how? What is the like kilometer, miles away?
21 kilometers.
Wow.
21 kilometers, and they do it even in the hot sun. I did the parikrama and few devotees. So we were around 12,000 people who were supposed to do parikrama that day. And they decided we will do start the parikrama around 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. But even during the month of November, it becomes, or October, it becomes hot in Vrindavan. So evenings and mornings are little cold
Mhm.
and afternoons are very hot. So I was like, Krishna, I can't do that. I know it becomes hard by 9 o'clock, only 10 o'clock. So with couple of other devotees, we decided we will start at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I did 4 o'clock, and then we spent a lot of time in Radha Kund, Sham Kund. So we came back at 10:30. It was super super hot, and then we went this thing, and then we waited because we would have a hotel where we were staying, and their pandal was like half an hour far. So we waited, saying that prasadam serving time was 12:30. So we waited um, there in the hotel, and then I started to go to the pandal where we would get the prasad, and I took an auto. And when I was going there, these Vrajavasis were doing parikrama at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and that too nange pav, not wearing chappal, not wearing socks. Wow, that is their devotion beyond imagination, actually, beyond imagination. And when you talk about Dandavat Parikrama, so because we would take their auto, so there were two boys, young boys, who were carrying those mats actually,
Mhm.
and they asked the auto driver, the rickshawala, to drop at a certain place where they finished the parikrama yesterday, and they want to resume from there. And that's how they would do. Evening they will go home and again start from there. Or some people just stay there. That is their bhava, that is their bhakti.
Wow.
We
Wish one day I can go buy a little place in there so I can
yeah,
follow all of it.
this is what the real mood of Vrindavan is, Mataji. And that is a goal of our bhakti, to live in Vrindavan, meditate on Vrindavan. If you ask me, every morning you wake up towards towards east, that's where north, that towards east, that's where Vrindavan is. We should offer our pranam and think about Govardhan, think about Radha Kund, think about Sham Kund, think about Yamuna. Scripture says when you do that, it is guaranteed you will enter in Golok Vrindavan. I tell my kids and I try to follow that as much as possible. It's wonderful. Okay, I went over time by 5 minutes. Any other comments or reflections? All good? Okay,
Prabhu.
thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Very grateful for your you joining today. We will continue next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Rupa Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Ending now. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare